Good morning, it is a lovely, lovely day today, so I figured I could do a little day in the life. It's going to be a nice and chilled one, which is quite nice because I feel like my last vlog was like very hectic because it was a travel vlog. I'm going to go and make myself a coffee and some breakfast and we can spend the day together. Okay, I'm now ready. I made myself another coffee because it's half calf, so I feel like I've only technically had one coffee. I do usually only have one coffee a day, to be fair, but I feel like it is definitely a 2 coffee day. It's a nice day. I want more energy than usual, so 2 coffees it is. Also, look how stunning this tumbler is. It's from Flowerhead. My sister has a lot of stuff from there, and I did an order a few months ago now of this and then some lace charms, and I'm obsessed. I want more. I feel like I could tell I've not vlogged in a while because I'm struggling to get my words out so much and having to repeat stuff a lot, but I am now ready. I decided to straighten my hair. I recently had layers and face framing put in, and I've never ever changed the shape of my hair before. I've just only ever gotten trims, and it's made it go a lot more curly, and sometimes I do like that because it's nice, but I feel like days like today it wasn't nice and it wasn't the one, so I've straightened it. I figured as well I could talk about the stuff on my watch list and the stuff on my TBR. Basically, I want to do a full video at some point of media I've been consuming lately, which will probably be over the last few months because I've not been great at watching films and reading books at the moment. I feel like at the start of March I was reading and I was watching a lot of films, and for some reason it's just kind of fallen off. I feel like the Oscars were motivating me to watch films, and I don't know what was motivating me to read. I just was reading a lot more. For context, this is the last book I picked up before I kind of fell off reading, and I am about 50% of the way through it, and I would like to get this done as quick as possible so that I can move on to some of the other books I'm interested in reading at the moment. Not to say this isn't interesting, because it is, but I feel like when you fall off reading, the last book you were reading kind of puts you back into that slump, even if it is like the greatest book ever. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in this book and I definitely want to get through it, but I feel like I could need to reread it at some point because I don't feel like I'm taking it in the most. It is semi-autobiographical. It is about a boy growing up in America from Vietnamese descent and his mother's and his grandmother's experiences as being Vietnamese in America and their move and sort of traumas, and yeah. I feel like that wasn't the best description of the book, but it's definitely highlighting the fact I've been in a bit of a reading slump because I cannot remember the full plot, to be honest. And then after that, I feel like I want books that are gonna like inspire me. And when I read Just Kids by Patti Smith, I flew through it. I really enjoyed reading it, and I feel like it was one of them books that I was gutted that I got to the end of. So I picked up M Train by her as well. Obviously, I've not read it yet, so I couldn't tell you exactly what it is about, but it begins in a tiny Greenwich Village cafe where she ruminates on the world as it is and the world as it was, and writes in her notebook. So yeah, very excited to read this. I do feel like it's probably more of an autumn-winter moody read, but I just feel like whatever's going to get me back into reading at the moment is what I'm going to read. And my next one has been on my TBR for years. I've had it physically for years, and I've just never gotten around to reading it, which is pretty much the story of a lot of books in my physical collection, to be honest. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get around to reading it this year, and it is The Creative Act. This is more of a hefty one, so I feel like I might read this at the same time as some fiction, just to keep it a bit more broken up. Okay, I can't find any synopsis, but it's definitely about creativeness and how to fit that into your lifestyle. So I'm very excited to get around to reading this because, as I've just said, it is one I've been wanting to read for a hot minute. So yeah, if I can get On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous finished and these two finished in like the next month or so, that is probably great for me. My book goal this year is 26 books and I have 20 books to go, so I feel like I'm gonna just try and mix it up and pick a few different books of like different genres and stuff. So I'll probably be on the lookout for some more books that I feel like I can take off quickly. I do feel like I'll probably have a look at my Pinterest board because I do have a specific books Pinterest board, and I'll probably pick some Fitzcarraldo ones as well because I feel like they're typically quite quick to get through. But yeah, these two are the ones that are screaming out to me immediately on my TBR. And then film wise, I do also feel like there's not that many films at the moment I want to watch. There's a few that are coming out at the back end of this year, like Dune 3, The Odyssey, Spider-Man, those sort of vibes that I'm looking forward to watching, but obviously they're not out at the minute. And then also The Hunger Games, the trailer came out last week and oh my god, it's made me so excited to see that at the back end of this year. But I feel like out at the minute there's not too many films that I'm like really wanting to see. The only one that I do really want to go see in cinema is Project Hail Mary. I've heard it's pretty similar to Interstellar. It is based on a novel, I believe, as well by Andy Weir, which I've yet to read, but maybe if I do enjoy the film then I'll go back and read the novel as well, which is not typically the way I like to do it. I do like to read first usually. However, I feel like at the minute I've just been wanting to see if I like the premise and the film before I dedicate so much time to reading it, which is what I did with Hamnet actually, because I went into that pretty blind and then really enjoyed the film and then read it once I knew I liked the film version of it. But it is about a science teacher who wakes up on a spaceship light years from home with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. As his memory returns, he begins to uncover his mission, solve the riddle of the mysterious substance causing the sun to die out. He must call on his scientific knowledge and unorthodox ideas to save everything on Earth from extinction, but an unexpected friendship means he may not have to do it alone. Also, having now read that, I feel like I have seen as well comparisons to Arrival, and I do like Interstellar and Arrival, so hopefully this one is going to be a good watch as well. I was also incredibly excited to watch the drama. I feel like it was marketed as like a fun, gossipy film, and I feel like since it's been released it's like not that vibe at all. I feel like I've seen kind of spoilers but also not really. I feel like it'll only make sense once I watch the film because literally the only thing I've seen is the poster alteration. Not entirely sure I'm jumping to watch that film, but it's definitely still on my watch list and I'm definitely still intrigued about where it's gonna go. Yeah, they're the main two. I feel like that wasn't actually that many films and that many books, and if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know at the moment, I don't know what will. But anyway, moving on, the other week me and my sister went to Didsbury and I do feel like now is a good time to include that footage, so we're gonna cut over to the other week and then I'll come back. I've also been struggling recently with my room. I feel like it's getting a little bit cluttered and stuff doesn't have a permanent home, so I feel like it's just being thrown anywhere and just being left. And yeah, I feel like now it's getting to the point where it's just creating clutter. It's not terrible, but it's just annoying me a little bit, and I feel like I wasn't really spending as much time in here because my brother's been working in there. However, he's slowly going back to the office and I'm now spending more time in here and now it's feeling cluttered. My main two culprits at the minute are my chest of drawers and this little bit here, and also down there as well is also getting some clutter, which I'm not enjoying, and I feel like I just want a little bit more clean, organised vibes. This has not been like this long. I literally just tried to have a play around with what was going on here, earlier on today and it just has not worked. I don't like it. So I want to declutter these vinyls. I do have another vinyl storage under my desk, which is a bit harder to reach, but I feel like the vinyls that I don't play as often and aren't as much my favourites will sit under there. I did enjoy how it was before, however, I've just been collecting so many new vinyls at the minute. I do have more on the way, which isn't great, but hopefully if I can get this side a little bit more decluttered, then I can just put it back to how it was, because I'm not liking this vibe. So yeah, I feel like my goal for this afternoon is to make it less cluttered, find homes for stuff, basically just try and get the top of my desk and the top of my drawers a little bit more clear, and then obviously sort this out as well. And hopefully mentally that's just going to make me feel a little bit better, because I've definitely been struggling recently. I feel like I'm a bit here, there and everywhere, which don't really want to get into in this vlog, but yeah, hopefully tidying my room can make it feel a little bit better.